Hey everyone, how you doing today? We are on with Omar, my real estate entrepreneur. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good, Michael. Thank you for having me. What's happening, everybody?
Yeah, so we got three exciting topics today. The first one is something that, if you've been in the real estate business for call it 10 years, right? You started buying back in 2010 or before, and really this goes for any
Yep.
cycle, right? We are obviously closer to the top than the bottom. I don't think you can argue that. But what would you
Right.
do, right? When do you trim the portfolio, right? Our story, one rental at a time, as you know, kind of pivots big time in 2007, where we get out of houses and we move to apartments right before the crash, right? Kind of cool, kind of a big deal. But other times we've
Right.
had to trim, right? When do you trim the portfolio? So I thought we'd talk about that. Any ideas or thoughts on that to begin with?
Yeah, just because when you're dealing with a lot of properties and you're dealing with a lot of tenants and with the issue that we just had this last year, makes things a little more challenging. Our
Mhm.
governor doesn't make it any
Yeah,
better. And
he's got to go.
that's kind of he's just got to go. But that's kind of the reasoning, for why should you trim? And if you can trim, how much profits are you making?
Mhm.
And do you want to run the risk, not risk, but do you want to keep running? Now, I want to keep all the properties. Obviously, the cash flow is awesome, but your personal opinion, because you have a
Yeah.
substantial amount of more properties than we do, more
Mhm.
doors, and you've been through it a lot, man. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
I,
it's a
I
really
think
good topic.
so. I think this is a topic everyone should think about when we're
Okay.
closer to the top than the bottom. And that's really what I look at it, right? I don't think you can ever call the top or the bottom, but you can say with pretty good certainty we're closer to the top than the bottom. So
Oh,
that's awesome,
100%.
right? You never ask this question at the bottom. At the bottom, it's like, how the hell can I get more cash, more loans? I want to buy as much as I can, right? It's a very different mindset. But we
Right.
are where we are today, which is time to think. So I think there's a couple of things. And again, I'm talking to you and the audience. So some of this will apply to you, some of it won't. The first thing I think you need to ask yourself is, am I too close to the sun? And what do I mean by that is, I remember in the 07-08 crash when people didn't pivot, Olivia and I did. They just insisted that they were special, that they were going to get through it, that they were doing the biggest or baddest flip, and they couldn't get hurt. So they didn't slow down, right? Because again, if you're closer to the top than the bottom, maybe the right answer is to slow down. Maybe it's not trim, maybe it's just slow down. The second thing
Right.
is, are we going up the stack at the wrong time, right? Another thing I saw in the last crisis is people were trying to, they were flipping 500K homes and suddenly they took a flyer on a $2 million home because, of course, bigger is better, right? Well, you know, maybe that's okay in 2010 when you're getting a discount, maybe not okay in a market where there's very low discounts, right? The other
Right.
thing
Okay.
is the other thing I would ask myself is, how are my cash reserves, right? Do I have enough cash just in case we have a repeat of 2020? I'm not saying we are, but there were so many people that suffered last year because their cash position wasn't as strong or industrial strength as they thought it was. Right. So those are the first couple of things. And then the last one I think about, and this is what I did, right? I'm selling off one triplex because it just never hit my numbers, right? It's in a C minus area where I'm happy to own because we bought it for nothing, but it never hit the numbers, right? We have constant turnover. It's up 500% from where we bought it. And
Oh,
I'm tired of looking at it going, shit, it's negative again. So the one thing that we are selling or trimming right now is that asset. It's just never performed, right? I went back and looked at our tax statements, X depreciation, we still lost money together. Now we'll come out fine.
really?
Yeah, it's just horrible turnover, just fucking horrible turnover. Um, but yeah, so, we'll make up money when we sell it, but I'm done with that property, right? I told my property manager, I'm done. We're out. We're selling that one. So we're in escrow. We'll sell it. We'll make, multiple six figures on it. But yeah, that's one I know I would sell, and I would sell that over and over without question. So a troubled property. So that's what I'm
Okay.
thinking. The first thing for you I'd ask is, A, do you have one of those troubled properties? it's just, turnover is twice as much as your rest of your portfolio, too close to the train tracks, any of that stuff. That'd be my first question for you.
Okay. No, not really, Michael.
That's good.
It's more of a, I've been blessed with decent tenants, and,
Awesome.
just had to pay some people out, to get them out, obviously, because of this crap that's going on. But in particular, it's just one property, and you hit it on the nail there in regards to, making sure you have cash reserves.
That's number two.
When you're playing the game, when you're playing the game and you want to go all in, and obviously you can see that behind me right there.
Yeah.
All in, you got to be all in, pay to play.
Yeah.
You got to be all in, pay to play to get that. But you're smart about it.
Yeah.
But I see, and I bought this property, and I'll tell you, it's a subject to home.
Mm-hmm.
I bought it for $14,000, and I put about 40 grand in this house. With
So let me just make sure everybody's on the same page. When you say you bought it for 14,000, that's your out of pocket.
My out-of-pocket expense is 14K. I did assume a loan for 155,000.
Makes sense. I just wanted everybody to catch up. Yep.
Yeah, and then I put 40K in it, so now my cost basis now is $55,000.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm in this property.
Yep.
And has a pool, crazy market, super appreciated. 3-4 houses down, sold for 340,000. And I'm sitting here looking like, okay, that house doesn't have a pool. This one does. Do I really want a rental with a pool?
Yeah. I'll tell you right now, my answer to that question is sell that thing. I mean, I've bought apartment buildings that had pools. Those pools were gone the first week I owned them. I'm just not a big fan.
You filled them.
Killed them. It's a whole permitting process. You got to get a permit from the city. You got to go in, drain the water, break the bottoms, put in dirt. I mean, it's expensive, but I never wanted to get that phone call about, a kid or even a pet. I mean, I just never wanted that phone call, right? I'll take on a lot of risk, but not that one.
And that's my reasoning, because I'm just like, it makes sense perfectly as a rental. It really does, because you're 50K in it. Now my payment is $1,100, not in my name. And I'm renting it out for $1,900.
Yeah. So,
or I'll end up renting it for $1,800, $1,900. So $900 in positive cash flow, Michael, versus, which is $10,000 a year, versus, $110, $120 in pure profit.
Now, for me, it's that third one that you didn't mention that we talked about. It's that peace of mind. I simply said, we'll never own a piece of property with a pool as a rental. Maybe as my primary, I will, but never as a rental. Just, that's where I'm at. That's my mindset. I mean, you assume so much risk as a landlord. That's one that I control.
So much.
And I'm like, nope. I mean, again, I spent like 10 grand getting rid of the pool.
See, and that's what I'm saying. Good point, because I literally have it on a pro and con sheet, because it's like, it's kind of messing with me a little bit.
No.
And it doesn't normally do that. And it's because of that headache.
Yeah.
So now the pool's being finished, it's done, and it's going to look really, really nice. So it's like, you know what, might as well, summer's coming,
sell it,
have somebody else buy this thing and just sell it.
Cash everybody out. Everybody's good. Yeah. Again, I'll do flips with pools, but I will not do, I just won't do it. I mean, there are people I know that only do deals, only are landlords with pools. Okay.
Really?
Just not me. Yeah.
And I guarantee you they don't have a whole bunch of them either.
Yeah, they probably don't. Because can you imagine? I mean, I don't even know what the trade-off is, right? I mean, what's a pool service cost? Because tenants aren't going to, I mean, it's just, I can't imagine. But for me, it's not that. It's the liability.
Yeah, good point there. I mean, this is awesome. So for everybody that's listening, it's that time to trim that portfolio. And after having this conversation, looks like we're going to be putting another property on the market.
There you go. The other thing I would do is if you had any properties that were kind of like bordering on questionable areas, like it doesn't have to be questionable areas from like neighborhoods, but like it's too close to the train tracks or it's too close to the industrial area. Now's the perfect time to sell those because there's no freaking inventory. You know, those properties won't be the spot to be once inventory grows, right? You know, those yeah, but properties, I call them. Yeah, but it's too close. Yeah, but this, yeah, but that. You can sell a yeah, but today, maybe not by the summer. I think a lot of inventory is coming.
Oh, it's coming.
Yeah. So
Yep.
that's
It's
what I
coming.
think. And,
That was
and
good.
good. And then again, I think you hold on to the good ones, right? I think there are some properties that I own that I've already highlighted. You know what, Olivia? You know, we're going to own this 20 until we're dead, and they're you know, they're Teresa's, right? Because again, we want ours to pay for our, you know, modest living. So yeah, makes sense.
Absolutely.
Very, very cool, man. I look forward to number 2, folks. Number 2 is how to use and how often you look at the affordability index. Pay attention to that one. Thanks, buddy.